and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. There are fresh protests that have erupted in Manipur over centre's decision to conduct the census without first carrying out an NRC. Citizens and student groups are demanding that the National Register of Citizens be completed before the census and the subsequent delimitation exercise. The protesters say that the NRC is needed to identify legal residents and illegal immigrants before electoral boundaries are redrawn. On Saturday, there were around 2,000 women who participated in a torch rally in Imphal West pressing for the demand. Protests have also seen reports of houses being burnt, adding to the tensions in the state. The demand is not limited to the Meitei community. The Meitei Pangals and the Naga groups have also called for an NRC before the census. Meanwhile, a 10-member delegation presenting different communities has travelled to Delhi to meet central ministers. Census data collection in Manipur began in January and will precede the delimitation exercise. Let's open up this conversation. I'm being joined by Shanta Nahakpam, who is the convener of the 14th CSO Kangli Park. Thank you very much for joining me on the telecast, Mr. Shanta Nahakpam. And my first question to you about, the situation being extremely volatile once again in Manipur, this unrest, this restive state that Manipur finds itself has carried on since 2023. What's the situation on the ground? There has been, large-scale protests that have taken place. There is a CRPF Jawan who was injured. There were houses that were set ablaze. There was a national highway that was choked. What's happening on the ground?
Thank you so much for inviting me. First of all, there are various situations prevailing in the state of Manipur. At present, there are three things going on. One is the Naga and the Kuki issue, which came after the 3rd May incident, which was reflected all over India, where the Meitei Kuki issue came up. Now, in between, there has been some peace process going on where the government of Manipur had decided to open up the highways. They had, they went for close talk with the Kuki groups. The chief minister traveled several times to Kangpopi, Chorchanpur, and Jirbam and other states. In the meantime, the issue of NRC came up since last 2-3 months, or even we can even say that it came before this year, like 2 years back. If I take you to the background of the census and NRC, the 14th CSO has been working since 2001 when we filed a case on the population surge in several districts, hill districts of the state, where Mao, Maram, Purul, Paumata, they were showing like enumeration level up to 140%, which was not naturally possible. Secondly, the court order had decided to, have a recount of these subdivisions, 9 subdivisions, which was never done. Then next, during 2010, the census was again, went ahead without recounting of the court orders. Thirdly, 2020, when the delimitation was about to go ahead, we again opposed the delimitation, stating that the recounting of these subdivisions, the enumeration was not on the actual figure. At present, the issue of NRC comes up when we have some core issue in Manipur, which is also even related to the May 3rd incident, where the 2008 SHU agreement, the first agreement, where all those SHU operators were not even operational in India. The government of India had signed SHU agreement with parties which was not even operational in India. Prior to the 2008 agreement, there was peace prevailing in Chorchanpur and other areas. So we particularly believe that there is a need to find out who the original Indian citizen is. And as far as the SHU groups are concerned, I'll just end it in one more sentence. As far as the SHU group is concerned, there is a political move. Whenever election comes, the party usually write to political parties to support them if they agree with their demands. So we believe that there is a need to calculate the number of original Indian citizens before the delimitation happens, and NRC being one of the formula.
I also want to ask you this question. The the BJP, that is the ruling party in Manipur right now, has been a champion of the National Register of Citizens. It has been seamlessly executed in Assam, despite a number of protests that had been taking place. Various opposition coming from Congress and the other political parties who are protesting this move, who were protesting this move in Assam for conducting the NRC, for completing the NRC. So, why do you think, do you feel that the government at the state level and the central level are reluctant, are hesitant to conduct this exercise? And why, according to you, are they not willing to go ahead and do it?
There are two things. In Assam, although they have conducted NRC, I think the Assam NRC is a total failure because the finding out of the original Assamese and finding out of original immigrants has been not completed even after 10, 15 years. Even now, the final number of NRC list has not been published till now. So it is still a question for Manipur also whether NRC will be the best possible formula to find out identify the original Indian citizen, or maybe the government of India take all the stakeholders together and find out a way, a constitutional means to track and detect all the foreigners, so that the delimitation can be processed and the political power remains with the original Indian citizen. Now, in the case of Assam, the delimitation was already conducted before completion of the NRC. The NRC final document has not yet been published. But in the case of Manipur, we are demanding, the people of Manipur are demanding that delimitation be processed only after finding out the original Indian citizen. So there is a bit of a difference. So we, as a CSO or activist, when we came to Delhi, or even before we came to Delhi, we have met the RGI, the Joint Secretary, Division 1, Foreigner, and various home department officials. They were of the opinion that we have to take a political call. Hence, we are now in Delhi to pressurize the government to take this matter in a serious manner and find out a constitutional means. If they don't want to go for NRC, they have to give us a proper formula how it can be done and how they can be deported, or how their names can be omitted from the original data of Indian
Shanta
citizens.
Nahakpam, perhaps I have a follow-up question. Are you facing resistance from the central government and the state government in getting your demand of the NRC fulfilled? And if so, why do you think it is?
See, till now, there is no resistance, I believe, but they are still, trying to delay the process. You see, the enumeration process of self-enumeration was supposed to begin on the 17th of August, but till that, the enumeration online portal is not being able to open. So the government is under pressure, and they have not opened the process, but they are still undergoing training at some districts, and they are trying to go ahead with the training, although the enumeration process has not begun. So we are still in a shock that despite so many efforts, so many political efforts, agitations going on, why is the government still not able to take a decision or take a call on postponement of census or freezing delimitation so that the original Indian
fair
citizens
enough.
can be
Mr.
identified.
Sudhakarji, let's hear it from you also with regards to this illegal immigration problem that is very, very peculiar to the northeastern states, those which have a porous border with Myanmar, particularly in Mizoram and in Manipur. Although there is a massive contrast in the way the people and the government in Mizoram have been able to segregate their illegal immigrant population that has come over from Myanmar into the border. The situation in Manipur is restive, it's difficult. It seems as if the illegal immigrants from Myanmar has sort of been assimilated into the Kuki tribes, as reports have put it. How do you feel a resolution to this problem is a solution that can be found to it?
Yeah, Megha, I hope I'm audible. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for having invited me for your show, and my very warm greetings to distinguished and esteemed co-panelists. As regards the question, without any doubt, we have to be very clear. For extraordinary things to happen, we have to take extraordinary steps. This issue which you have raised is definitely is one of the major fault lines for the border state of Manipur. It's not happening now because now you have to look back in time and join the dots. How the border management cross-border movement is to take place from 40 kilometers to 20, then 16, and now I believe it has been further reduced. And without any formal documentation or any formal entry and exit point. So, therefore, I personally feel my take is that there is a serious merit in the case. That serious merit in absence of border, in absence of one regulated control or checkpoint, in absence of any record being kept, there is a free flow of trans-border or cross-border movement of the matching ethnicity. And it could be cookies, it could be any other tribe for that matter. So therefore, there is a merit in the case. For one, Government of India would do well to take hard decisions on the subject, and illegal migrants have to be accounted for. They must be repatriated back to the place of origin, and some kind of semblance of orderliness has to be followed. Last point, indirectly you hinted in the question that if it is becoming too frequent or issue which triggers to violent activities, then what should the government do? In my opinion, any problem taking place anywhere, whether it is border state or it is a hinterland state, the problem has to be identified correctly. Now, my moot question is, after having heard the first speaker, my predecessor, I'm convinced that there is a case in point. It must be examined in detail, and multiple options have to be generated, and best possible option available should be resorted to. In the instant case, there is something that can be done in the short term, certain things which can be done in the medium term, and certain things in the long term. As a military man, my sincere advice to the government of India is to not to take things lightly. This may be taken advantage of and exploited by forces inimical. There are large number of them from international community floating around in Manipur and surrounding areas. We have to look at the issue in a holistic manner, try and find a lasting peace and
Okay.
solution to the existing problem.
Okay, all right. Unfortunately, that has not been the case, not just with this government. It has been a problem in Manipur for the last several decades. There have been no active approach that has been taken forward by any of the governments, any political parties. That continues to be the conundrum that the political parties have not been able to find to bring about peace and tranquility in the region for their own interests. I am also being joined by Dr. Seram Rojesh. Dr. Rojesh, let's hear it from you with regards to, there's been one more incident, and if I don't know if they are unrelated, but there has been a rally that has taken place in Manipur. There have been massive protests that have happened over the appointment of a non-Muslim member to the Waqf board, and there has been massive agitation over this as well. So it's not just about the ethnic strife that we see, not just about the illegal immigration issue, but there also seems to be brewing resentment against the government for situations such as these. Appointments to the Waqf board, a non-Muslim member being appointed in the Waqf board.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So in that context, as a minority community, I would actually, endorse the people's demand that the non-Muslims should not be part of the work board. Actually, it should not be politicized by the RSS team and organization that they actually wanted to intervene and divide between the communities in Manipur, because it should be stopped. And the member from the member of the parliament, the person who are involved should resign, and because there are many issues that we need to resolve, and these issues should not be initiated by the different agenda so that the Meitei and the Meitei Muslim actually views are divided at this point of time. And it's uncalled, and it should be withdrawn, and the members should be withdrawn. That is our call. Number 2 point, I would like to point out that at this point of time, we all know that the Manipur is under serious crisis. The state is already, in one sense, there is no state as such, and the rule of law is not there, and the communities are divided, and the military organizations, they have actually created some kind of borderland, and the communities are not allowed to go each other. In that sense, conducting census will be not possible, because the conducive atmosphere needs to be created, so that the census, the authentic census can be conducted without fear, without any coercion, without any force.
But why do you think that the Kuki tribes are objecting to the Métis demand, and the other communities that have also joined the Métis in demanding an NRC before a census and a delimitation exercise?
Yeah. In that questions, I would oppose by the saying that the NRC is only demanded by the Meitei community. It is completely wrong, and because the Naga communities, there are 22 Naga tribes are belonging to the Naga tribes, and the Meitei Muslims, all communities, even including the Thado, who actually belongs to they said that they are not part of the Kuki, but the Thado inhabitants, they also says that NRC is a must, because this is one NRC or any other platform or any other mechanism to identify the foreigners from the proper citizens is very much needed at this hour, and it should not be communalized. Yes, of course, one can understand that the people who are coming from the Burma and Myanmar, who may be affected by these practices, they would oppose that thing. But every community, including Thado tribes and the Naga tribes community, almost out of, if you count, then out of 34 tribes and the communities in Manipur, nearly 21, 22, 25 communities have already agreed, but only some community who have actually felt that the people who have the same ethnicity coming cross border from Burma and from other states, they may be affected. That is why they want to oppose it. I would also wanted to remind you that even in case of Mizoram, as you have already identified, that in case of Mizoram, the Mizoram government, they have already make the system in place, so that every foreigner who come from the Sin Kuki community, who are themselves called that they have the same family, but they have been identified and they have been asked to settle in a proper area, and they were never allowed to mix between the Mizo society. And as per the government record, nearly 50,000 foreigners or refugees have been living in the case of Mizoram. But in case of Manipur, this armed militant supported group organization, they never allowed to exercise that practice. And even the Manipur government have not done any other activities to identify and to identify who are the foreigner in that case. So that is why the proper system needs to be in place, and the NRC, yes, one can understand from the limitation and from the success of from the practice of Assam, so we can learn many things from Assam. That is understandable.
Okay. All right,
but
fair
in
enough.
case
I'm also
of
being
Manipur,
joined. Let me also get in Major General Anuj Mathur into the conversation. General Mathur, a situation such as this, and the question persists: why, according to you, are the Kukis and other communities who have become part of this opposition, this objection to the Métis and other communities who are demanding that an NRC be completed in the state? Why is such an exercise not palatable to the Kukis?
Jai Hind, Megha, happy evening. Look, I would like to bring up bring out one fact before I answer your question. The state of Manipur, it's a very, very sensitive border state, and it does not need another ethnic confrontation. What it needs is institutions, facts, transparency, credibility. That is what is required. And what will bring that in is dialogue. What will bring that in is getting everybody on board, talking to them, and getting things going. I will tell you one thing. There has been a free move regime. I'm sure all of us know about it. There's been a free move regime with the border with Myanmar. And that's said that up to 40 kilometers earlier, now it has been reduced to 16 kilometers, something of that sort. But up to 40 kilometers, you don't need any papers to move to and fro Myanmar, because of which all these things have happened. Large numbers of people have been coming this way or that way, and that is the reason why things are getting have gotten out of hands. But the fact is, a Mizoram model, a great possibility, but now the issue is, since you cannot now do it, the census and NRC, they are not things which need to be done in priority this one or in other priority that one. What is required is we need to get on with both the things. None of these activities should eventually result in blaming one community or saying that this one is not for that one is not for this. Both the things are required. We need to work out a mechanism which will make sure that you do a proper NRC exercise, and also the census must go on as scheduled. It need not be, you need not change the issue of census. So my take is that we have to ensure that there is a dialogue. We need to ensure there is no fight there. There is no burning of houses. There is no activities which are not acceptable.
But how will it be achieved? How will it be achieved, especially when we are seeing this on the ground, as per reports that the state government, the central government are not on the same page with the protesters who are demanding the NRC? Why has it taken the government, both at the center and at the state level, so long to even bother to, start the process of the NRC?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because what we need to do is we need to get into a dialogue. The answer is not force, application of force. See, I'll tell you, if there is a situation of this kind, you have to get on board. You have to get on the same page, both the government of India, government of Manipur, and the people. And all the stakeholders have got to get onto the same page, Megha. And that is possible only by trying to communicate, only by a system of dialogue. You talk to them, get them along. And I can assure you, it is not an exercise which is an impossible exercise. But very important.
It's an exercise which is not an exercise which is impossible to achieve, but it definitely requires political will. Until that time, we'll continue to see this unrest, this arson, burning of houses in villages, and taking over of these roads, and putting tires on fire and logs on fire, and complete mayhem that has been a very prominent, almost constant feature of Manipur for last several decades, and particularly since 2023, which it has aggravated exponentially. All right, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, and I'll take a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX.